how you doing? My name's Steve Smith and welcome to the first ever TNR app review show. On today's show we've got all the latest iOS apps and some of the ones you might have missed. So our first app that we're going to review today is the brand new game Rope and Fly. Now I've only had this game for about a week and I'm already addicted to it. My highest score is 8,000, which I did on the iPad. I found it a little bit easier to use on the iPad just because of my thumbs kept getting in the way when I was playing basically. It's a really simple game, a bit like Angry Birds, the way you'll keep coming back to it no matter how long you leave it on your iDevice. So if we take a look, obviously we've got the dreaded adverts, but after that, just get straight into playing. So the controls are really simple. Basically, you've got to hook onto the buildings and see how far you can get. You press again to let go. It's a really addictive game just to see how far you can get, and you can't flaunt it for being free. When you die, you get a cool little animation as well. It's also got some customization as well with the use of the online store. You're able to change your character, the background if you want, so you can have it, at the moment it's at daytime, but you can have it in night or dynamic, which is basically a combination of both. As you can see, the animations are absolutely brilliant. You can hook onto the planes, onto hot air balloons. You can also change the rope as well, but it will cost you. One thing that I would change with this game is to be able to advance in some way, maybe get different backgrounds in terms of what you hook onto, so you maybe have a jungle version or something like that. But again, it's an amazing game and it's really good when you're just on the bus and you've got some time to kill. So we've got Instagram. Now Instagram's pretty famous for you out there. It was recently purchased by Facebook for a record, I think it was 10 million. It's basically a social network for all your photos, but it's also a great way to edit them on your iPhone if you don't want to shell out for something like iPhoto. Now one of the features that you get is to follow other people, so whether that's photographers or celebrities, and you get to see their photos on a regular basis. Also you get your own little screen, almost like a little profile full of your pictures which have been edited, and you can also see how many likes they've got. And this is a great app for anyone, and it is completely free both for iOS and Android now. It has some brilliant filters in there which I'll show you in a moment. At the bottom of the app you've got 5 icons: home, favorites, take a photograph, your mentions and your profile. So the home button is where you see all the photos of the people you're following. So whoever you've followed, their photos will come up here. And it updates in live, which is pretty nice. The second one along is all the popular photos. So these are the photos that I've got the most likes on Instagram, which basically updates every couple of seconds. So every time you go on there will be something new that you haven't seen and possibly someone that you'd like to follow. So liking's very easy as well. You just double click on the photo. So to take a picture, it's pretty simple. You click on it, you take your photo and then you pick your filter. But on top of that, you've got some other basic features, such as the one-touch autocorrect, which is basically just a high contrast filter, which is nice for outdoor shots, but doesn't make a great difference to indoor shots. Also, on top of the filters at the top, you've also got frames, rotation, and the blur tool, which is pretty good if you want to try and create a fake depth of focus or just to focus on something in the center. Once you've finished editing your photo, you can upload it to Twitter, Facebook, or even email it to yourself, and every photo you take will automatically go over to your camera roll. It's a great social app, and especially for being free. So the next one we've got on is Eevee. Now Eevee is basically a solution to all the iPhone 4 users that really want Siri. Now it is pretty damn good, to be honest with you, and it does understand what you say. So here I'm asking what the time in Africa is, and it's given me all the time zones and read them back to me. There really isn't much difference between them. Siri has a bit more of a personality programmed into her, so you can ask the funny questions. As you can see, you can ask, will you marry me? But you just get a basic answer back. It also has a rating system which helps the developers improve the app. Now other than that, there's not much else to say. It's pretty much like Siri. So now we've got GTA 3, which has been out for quite a while on the App Store, but some people might not have seen it. It's not free, as you can see on the screen, but it really is an amazing game, especially for an iOS device. Now you got to remember, I am running this on an iPhone 4, not a 4S, so I'm sure it'll run a lot smoother than it does on this. But my iPhone doesn't do a bad job of keeping up with the game. Basically, it's an exact replica of the PlayStation 2 game that came out way back when. And I remember when I was little, this is one of my favourite games to play, so it was great just to revisit that. One of the things I would say about this game though is the controls are fairly hard to use, especially looking down a video camera lens. But it's a bit hard to control the cars, and obviously it's hard for him to aim, but it does have a kind of automatic aim when you shoot. But still, it's something that could be improved on in future generations of GTA if they continue to bring them out on the iOS devices. But as you can see, the graphics are absolutely amazing for an iPhone, and it's even better on the iPad, especially if you've got the new Retina display on the iPad. The graphics are exactly like the PlayStation 2, and I think it's better than it's one of the best games you could possibly get. Let's hope they bring out GTA 4. So for the next few apps, I'm switching to my iPad. First up, we've got Tap the Frog. There is a second one, but it does cost, so I've picked the free one for you today. It's basically a reactions type of game. You get various different tasks, such as touching the frog before it turns blue, tranquilizing frogs before they run off, all sorts, and you're rated on how fast you do it. Like I said, it's quite an addictive game. It's not the most advanced or entertaining in the world, but it is good for a little 10-minute play. But it's fun for all ages. Lastly, we've got my favourite game on the iPad, which is Monopoly. There is an iPhone version, but I can't download it for some reason without paying again. So I'm not going to, as it is quite an expensive app, but well worth it. Now, based on the original Monopoly board game, and it pretty much lives up to its name. It's got 4 different versions, single player, you can play online against friends, and you can play on you can basically turn it into the board game, so 4 people can sit around the iPad and use it instead of a board game, which is great for travelling. Now, as you can see, the graphics are absolutely amazing. It's hard to tell that it's not a real Monopoly board. It's so addictive. I've played this way too many times now, and I can't get over how fun it is. So again, great for all ages. You know, it's bringing Monopoly back to another generation that may otherwise miss out on it. You also have the options to trade and manage, just like you do in real life. It's absolutely brilliant. You build your hotels and your houses, all the same rules, just in iOS form. Alright, well that's it for this week. Please leave any comments you've got down below. They're all appreciated. Also, if you could hit the subscribe button, that'd be brilliant. Check back tomorrow, because we've got a brand new show where we do a roundup of all the week's news. Thanks again.